We are coming in. We are live now on YouTube.
Boom.
Welcome everybody that's coming in. We've been trying to get this show together for a while. We're glad to have with us finally, all the way from Kentucky. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Chad.
And welcome to his bourbon night.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. We're used to our normal intro.
Do it.
It's bourbon night.
You say bourbon night.
It's bourbon night. Hello, I'm Chad.
I'm Sarah.
Ah, there we
go.
go.
It looks warmer over there.
Oh, it's
not.
No, we just
Really?
turned up the warmth on the camera.
Right.
Oh wow, yeah. You guys look like it's cozy and kind of like I feel like it should be 72.
Yeah,
I wish.
It's because we're both very pasty. So we just turn up the color temperature, and we look like we're healthy.
That's genius. You never turn up the color temperature for me. What?
Well, you're German.
I'm German. That's right. I'm supposed to look all pasty.
Yeah, if we turn it up too much, we look a little jaundiced.
There you go. Get out in the sun.
Yeah.
Need one of those.
Oh, that's it. That's yours right there. We are going to start with Michter's 10. Naturally, Chad and Sara, it's bourbon night. They do bourbons.
Yeah.
I had to talk them into picking up a Scotch.
Good talk.
It's true.
We did pick up a Scotch.
It's true. This is a first. I mean, this is a exclusive.
Right.
Really?
This will be the first time I've had Scotch in probably 7 years.
Ooh, Lordy, me too. Me
and
too.
I can't even remember the last time. And this is definitely the first time we've had it together. So
yeah, I had it last at my buddy's wedding. He gave one of his groomsmen a bottle of Scotch. Can't remember the name of it for the life of me. He was like, "Here, try it," because he knew I was big into bourbon. And I was like, "Thanks." But it was peaty, and as we've said off air, we don't like peat, but you guys are saying that this Magnus is not so peaty, so we're looking forward to opening it.
Yep, it's 10 down. Yeah, see, and I'm a pea head. I love the peat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Test the waters.
Yeah.
See how.
Sure.
We'll dip a toe in.
Yeah.
Well, now, and part of the deal, I mean, you guys had talked about you've got some rye. You're getting ready to buy some ryes. Money was a little tight, so we said, well, it's kind of what's $30 range, something like that, something you can pick up. But actually, you got. I think the Magnus is actually like $32, $33 here. You guys got it for what was it, $28, $29?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, great buy for $28, $29. Really should be hopefully a pretty good intro for you. Let you know not all scotches are peated.
Right.
And if you're like me, you need to get into the sherry caskets.
Yeah, he loves the sherry.
I'm like, Chad, what if you like it? What if this starts a whole new, like it opens doors,
Hey,
I'm like, this could create another problem.
That's fine. We've said like 3 to 5 years down the road, when we run out of bourbons, we're going to need to have a backup plan. So this gives us time to start liking Scotch. So at that point,
you'll never run out of bourbon, I guarantee.
Never going to run out of brown liquor.
Well, if we ever run out of ideas, I guess, not so much bourbon, but just, we've uncorked everything. And
what can we do for a flight fight now? We've done
everything. Yeah. So
I love your flight fights. Your flight fights are great. Great title too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to actually film our rye flight fight after this, so
yeah.
We're gonna try not to get too.
We may have to take quite a break.
Take a break, and we actually just, since we were talking to you yesterday on the test call, it's going to be a 3-parter. So we're going to do 80 to 91 proof in our first one that we're getting ready to do. We're going to do to 90, I guess, 91 to 100 in the part 2. And then 101 and above for part 3.
Because we just couldn't decide.
Yeah, that would be a little more fair, I guess. And then we might take the winner of all 3 of those and do a blind flight to see, what comes out. Yeah, pour away.
Yeah.
I went ahead. I just poured the Michters. We're going to save the
hot beer. And I was like, well, if he's pouring, I'm going to pour.
Well, we're going to save the Scotch because then people will have to keep tuning in.
Oh, yeah. Michter's 10's good, too.
Sorry, I spilled a drop. That's like the biggest sin.
Yeah, don't bury the lead. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that is delicious. Their toasted rye is phenomenal too.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we had that at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Yeah,
really
which is the glasses we're drinking out of.
Oh, look at that! What a coincidence!
I
didn't realize that.
Kentucky Bourbon Festival, Glencairns.
Very nice. I've got a Scotch trip.
First of all, the comments are rolling the chat box. We do have a moderator set today that's going to be watching them and keeping because I knew we were going to be busy and preoccupied.
Wow.
Thanks to Whiskey in the Six, though. He already started off the super chat with a $12 donation. So thanks, Rob.
Wow, Rob from Canada.
Well, it's $12 Canadian, so that's like $2.
Yeah, $1.50.
Oh, no.
Rob's got a great beard, though. That's like a bonus.
That's awesome.
Now, are we doing the standard catchphrase?
Oh, that's right.
Right. What? So
we got you guys did your intro. We got to do ours.
Yeah,
So we're going to take a look at first the Michter's 10-year single barrel bourbon bottled at 47.2%. And Bart, what are we going to do?
We're going to test it. I can barely talk because I'm a little sick.
That'll get you.
I shook him. Whoa! You're like, wow. That
I think I actually heard that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I can extend that out.
Yeah.
When you're not sick.
Oh yeah, when I'm not sick, when I got the lungs, baby, that'll go 30 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
who doesn't want to tune in for that?
That is impressive.
Now I will tell you before we get started.
Hold on, it's getting hot.
When Bart and I got started a little over 4 years ago,
Right.
we started with just Scotch
Yes.
and branched out into bourbons. After a while, we were like, we're in the U.S. There's so many bourbons, so many whiskeys available here outside of Scotch. Why don't we start taking a look at those?
Right.
Now, and when we first started, I thought when we get to 100 bottles, we will probably have sapped out our local market.
Done.
No, I mean,
Nope.
we're over 400 reviews now.
Not even close.
And I can go into any liquor store and still find bottles we haven't had.
Roger that.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Love it. Well, we're all into bourbon and rye.
Now, and those who are watching, if you don't know, Chad and Sara are not brother sister.
No.
Well, we've gotten that question a few times, and it's been a little disturbing.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't set the mood, I'll tell you that.
No cousins.
No relation.
No.
Thanks for putting that out there. We really appreciate that.
There we go. Well,
Am
that's
I
good.
right yet?
Not with this color temperature.
No.
Oh, good color 10. No jaundice.
Pretty heavy rye mash bill on the back
Love
end.
it. Yeah, that's why I love the Michters. Well, this is the one you just.
That's why I think I might.
Our show hasn't come on this, but you surprised me. Ooh, I better not say because that's a surprise show.
We did a blind,
Right.
what we're calling a blind box tasting.
Right, black box.
Black box blind tasting. I knew I had the bottle in there. It was concealed from Bart. Bart didn't know what it was, and we went through and did the tasting.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that'll be coming out next. Not this Wednesday. We've got our top 5 bourbons coming out.
Right.
And then the next Wednesday will be our Michter's 10 review.
Love the high rye mash bill.
Is it just like top 5 in general or top 5 2017?
2017. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but with a caveat, what we tried in 2017, because you guys did a real good job. You had bottles actually released. I think you did like your top 2017, but they were the bottles released in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
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 But still, it was only like ones that we were able to get and try.
Right.
Because there were other ones we'd had samples of, but people were like, "Oh, why wasn't that in there?" I'm like, "Because we had like an ounce and a half of it, and to know we even liked it to put it in there, we drank it all already." So,
Right. Because I think I don't want to. I mean, go to their show and watch. I won't say you're number 1, but this made your top 3, if I remember right.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
correct.
So I'm really glad that you wanted to try it again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go to their
It's
episode.
his bottle, so I'm like, yes.
Yeah, they get fans. Go check their episode to see their 1 and 2 and the rest of the lineup. That was a great lineup.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm officially signed in now. That's what I've been doing here on the iPad.
Just fiddling around. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
A nice, sweet, rich caramel on the nose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Every time it's just such a treat.
Yeah, it's got a nice cream to it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll heal me right there.
Yes, that will make you feel a little better.
Oh yeah, it's like I've got the jacket back on without the heat.
Right. That's what we call it. We call it putting on your bourbon coat.
Woo! Love that.
So whenever we're like going to a concert, we're like, should I take a jacket? No, just put on your
Just
bourbon
put on
coat.
your bourbon coat.
Bourbon coat.
Have a couple bourbons, then
I
you'll
need
be
to take
fine.
the dog outside. I should probably have 3 or 4 bourbons so I can do that.
That's right. Bourbon coat. Love it.
And I love the finish on this one. It's long. I think it's a long finish, and then it just gets into like these, like the darker notes. Really start kind of tasting that barrel, and then definitely, like you said, the high rye. there. It's like dances over the tongue.
Right.
So good.
It's such a good balance of it's kind of sweet on the front, but the heat comes through and it's so I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the finish, I even get a touch, not overpowering, but like a touch of black licorice. Just that kind of that. My dad was a huge black licorice fan, hated it as a kid. But on the very end in that finish, I kind of get a touch of that little black licorice tang.
I can, yeah.
That could be me. I know. Sometimes I'll have something, he'll be like, you're crazy. I don't get it.
The other day, I was like, does this taste like blueberries? It's like, you're crazy. Get out of here.
Jason Whiskey Wise has asked if there's any ryes that both of our channels would recommend. And just real quick to get into that one, the Pikesville came up at first if we wanted to taste that during the show. And then we've also just recently talking here, we touched on that Michter's toasted barrel finished rye. That's delicious. We had the High West Midwinter Nights Dram.
Oh, yeah, that's
Act
good.
5, Scene 7.
Yep.
I think I have Act 4, Scene 3. That's right. I think I have that one.
I think I have intermission.
Me too. I got like closing credits.
I got standby, like on call for tickets. I think that's what I got.
Drinking Caveman also asked if this is 2016's or 2017's. This is the brand new one. This is just the 2017 release that just come out.
Yeah, same for us.
Was there a difference, do you know, in the ABV from 16 to 17?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I don't know that actually. Yeah, I don't. What's the proof on this one?
44.
94.4.
94.4. Probably not. When they have it printed on the label like that, they're usually cutting it down to that.
Committed.
I mean, if it was handwritten, that'd be something. But just seeing it printed on the label, I doubt they ever change proof from year to year.
Also, a shout out real quick to a new watcher, a new viewer that hasn't tuned in before, Dovaco, Dhovaco, live for the first time from Denmark.
Wow.
Oh, hello.
I just got a call from Hawaii.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Aloha.
Yeah, I know. That was my phone going off.
Don Nishida?
No, that would have been great. Don's a big fan, although I did tell him to look up. I've got a whole Scott won't let me talk about it, but I love board games, and I got a board game channel, and I do some live shows there. Is that all I can say?
That's cool.
Yeah, it was an oil painting artist that paints covers for different board games and stuff that lives in Honolulu. Great guy.
Nice. I do enjoy a board game. We actually found a board game. It's called the Bourbon Run.
Bourbon Run.
And it's basically like Monopoly, kind of, but to get around, you have to answer questions correctly on like cards, about bourbon.
Look at that. Worlds collide.
Yeah. Hashtag, that's what
I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. This is very strange, but I'll take it.
Beautiful.
Now, I will tell you, you guys were talking, one of your goals for 2018 is to start live streams yourself.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, highly encourage you to. They really go great interaction with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, I'm not doing a good job of keeping up with the chat today. We've got a moderator in here that's watching for us. But this 2 p.m., if you go in the afternoon like this, 2 p.m., you get more of some more worldwide viewers because they're still up.
Yeah, Ron Balt's supposed to be on.
Yeah. Now, generally, a lot of times, we'll go 9 p.m. at night, and you lose some of the international crowd when you do that. So
right.
That's good advice. Oh, no, you lost it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm having
technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Just keep smiling.
Yeah.
All right. Just working.
Well, I've just seen Whiskey in the Sixth thinks you've been watching his channel because of that scarf.
If I could sport the same beard that he has, that would be good. Yeah, the wife got me this, and I was like a little chilled, and I thought I'm going to put it on, and it kind of made up for me leaving because she was like, "You're going," and I'm like, "Yeah, got to go with Scott." She's like,
"But I'm wearing a scarf, so
yeah." I'm like, "I put on your scarf," and she was like, "Looks good." I'm like, boom.
That's great.
Would have been great if you
a nice caramel butterscotch on the Michter's tin.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say it would be great if you came in like the kid from A Christmas Story where you couldn't put your arms down.
Love that.
So many layers.
I can't put my arms
down. Yeah. And they keep springing back up.
Yeah. Ralphie was the older kid. What was the
Yeah, I know. I can't remember his name. I just
Which one?
The youngest one, because my boy loves it when the mom tries to get him to eat his mashed potatoes and he eats them like the piggies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little piggy.
I can't remember his name. I don't know.
Someone will remember.
Yeah, someone will have it. You got a whole. What do we got? 136 people are on. Woo, that's good.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, 136 live is phenomenal.
Now let's talk about. I'll give you guys kudos. Whoever is doing your video editing and really just your reviews. Great job.
Stop. Thank you.
That's mostly him.
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, ours are kind of haphazardly slapped together, I would say.
We're talking about me?
No.
Is this personal?
Our videos, both of them. We're both, right. Like you guys, we got full-time jobs and busy families, everything else. And so really, yours, I would say you are more quality over quantity. We're more quantity over quality of video editing and showmanship, lighting.
I mean, your lighting is phenomenal. Actually, I was going to mention that. Your lighting is just ours. Yeah, I'm garish. I look garish.
Speaking of our great quality, I think our camera just went out.
We got audio still.
We still got great audio.
Okay, we're working on getting it back up right now.
If something happens and you drop out, all you have to do is go back to the email invite and re-click on that link, and it'll bring you right back in.
Hey, there we go. We got you.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
Oh, but yeah, your
camera just timed out or something. But as you were saying about that great quality, though,
you still do. Your lighting. I
take back everything I said.
Never mind.
Well, I think that.
Let's just talk about that.
No, your sound quality is phenomenal.
Yeah, you sound great. Black screen right now. So no, I have it hooked through our DSLR, the same camera that we shoot our episodes on. And I thought I was being clever using the DSLR instead of the webcam built into the laptop over here. And that's why we look all tanned and jaundiced. But apparently after, how long have we been on? Maybe 30 minutes?
That'll do it.
Apparently it's going to time out. So that'll happen again.
Sorry.
You're all right.
But I'll just run over there and click it.
We'll just fix it. So no worries.
Do you guys know the mash bill by chance on this?
No.
I do not. That would have been something great to prepare before.
No, you're all right.
Yeah, I mean we're not good on that either.
No, we don't do that.
Preparation, not our strong suit.
I do not know.
Okay,
I'm getting some more.
For those that are just tuning in, we're taking a look at the Michter's 10 single barrel.
Yeah,
it's bottled at 47.2%. Great nose on it. Great mouthfeel. Great palate. Great finish.
Yes.
Caramels and butterscotches, sweetness.
Yep. All I'll go is I'll say it's a high rye mash bill.
I think that's right.
Yeah, because I can pick it up. And I love my rye. I actually lean toward rye over bourbon.
I feel like I tend to lean like, if it's not just barrel proof in general, like higher rye, or I've started to really like just rye in general. I don't know. And I think it kind of goes with the colder months too. So I don't know if I just kind of go back and forth, but something about a rye just really, I don't know, warms you up.
Oh yeah. And I love the ryes that bring that pepper open, and they'll even have those dill notes that are in there.
Yeah. Nice spices. And Rombout is watching. He just asked if are there any spicy notes? Yeah, there's some little bit of black pepper spice. Nice rich cinnamon, nutmeg.
Sure.
I get a little bit of clove, tiny bit of clove in there.
Yeah, I get that too.
More on the back end.
Yep, totally.
Baking spices. Yeah.
Now this was $90. I don't know. And I think that's of course, we do most of our shopping at one store. Sometimes they give us some price breaks, but I think that's really pretty much about retail.
About what we paid.
I got mine through a friend, and I think I paid $100.
Yeah.
I've yet to see this in our city at a store.
I've never seen it.
Well, I seen one on a shelf the other day for $200.
Yeah.
So I know they're marked. I know it's one that's getting marked up a little bit.
It's
how much?
$200, $199.
I just can't stomach that.
Yeah.
Well, so I was looking for the mash bill. This whiskeylately.com says the MSRP is actually $120, and it says no guess on mash bill. So
maybe they're not putting that out there.
I don't think they're putting it out there, but I would say it's a high rye.
Yeah.
Tasty stuff.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Whiskey in the Six has to go. Before he did, he gave us another $8 Canadian.
Wow, really?
Bye.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Very cool.
78 cents. Sorry, we don't follow us. We openly mock even financial supporters.
We've got a lot of Canadian viewers, Canadian fans. There's some other Whiskey in the Six is a Canadian reviewer, malted in Montreal.
We're like cousins,
but we hang a lot of trash back and forth.
Yeah.
If you ever see the Six, he's a teacher, but he's got this beautifully dark.
He's Italian.
No, he feels French. I'm telling you, you can see the French side of the Canadian. It's in there.
He feels French.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't felt him. You can almost. You can feel the Six. You can feel the Six through the screen. I'm telling you, if you see him, you kind of get locked in. He blushes right through the beard.
Wow.
Thought this was a family show.
Oh, well, see, you're sporting a good beard too, but I'm telling you, the Six's beard's phenomenal.
No, yeah, if it gets too long, I gotta can't hang with the long beards.
Wow.
Well, let's finish up with the Michters. Let's go ahead and we'll move on to another bourbon or a rye, maybe that we talked about, and then we'll even hold off on the Highland Park for a little bit yet.
Okay.
What do you think?
You trying to get us drunk, so we're gonna say the Scotch tastes delicious?
Well, it could go the other way because the bourbon could saturate your palate, and the Scotch that we chose might be a little mild. Do you want to do the Pikesville? We had talked about that one.
Pikesville won our blind 16 bottle shootout. That Pikesville was my blind #1 pick.
Nice.
Love it.
Rise, or was it Rise and bourbons?
That one was just Rise. We did 16 blind Rise, and I think the Michters actually came up.
I chose the Michters barrel proof,
and that rolled in second on the barrel proof Michters, which is good. Now they didn't have the toasted one out yet. I find that phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Pikesville it is.
Pikesville.
Well, tell us, how did you guys get into reviewing whiskeys?
I'll let you go.
Okay, since you're busy, you're got to concentrate on pouring. We met. She was actually working at a different place, and where I worked, she was a client, and that's how we met. And then we just went out one night for some food and got some bourbon. Started talking about bourbon. Realized we both loved it, and then she started coming over here and just drinking bourbon. And we would, because I had started years ago with friends having what I would call bourbon nights, and we would try to get scientific with it. And at that time, I was still cutting my teeth, so I liked it with Coke. So we would test it over ice, and then we would test it with Coke. And which one tasted better with Coke, which one tasted better on the rocks, and then as it evolved, it just became neat. Or actually, it was on the rocks and neat, and then just neat. So I was like, yeah, come on over. And so we had this notebook, and we would write out categories like palate and nose and finish and price and availability, and try to rank them and all this complicated jazz. And then finally I was like, why aren't we just filming this? Why are we writing stuff down? That's boring. I have equipment. Let's just film it and start a YouTube channel. And she was like, okay. And that's just kind of how it happened. I mean, we were doing it anyway. I was like, let's just film this.
That's true.
Put it out there. See what happens.
It did take me forever to become comfortable on camera. Like if you watch our first episode, which was the best under
50 bourbons under $25.
I'm pretty sure you can see the fear written all over my face. I'm like, oh my God, the internet's judging me. Well, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I
looked at the wrong camera the entire time. Like if you watch that episode,
she was like,
really embarrassing.
Thanks, Chad. And now no, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad. We didn't have a teleprompter or anything. She was just
nerves.
No, it didn't take very long until she became a natural. I'd had a little bit of experience. I used to run a music. Like we interviewed bands. It was another YouTube channel I did with another buddy where we go and interview bands and stuff. So I was kind of used to talking in front of the camera, but it didn't take her long at all.
Well, this stuff really helps when you need to talk in front of the camera.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a couple of these, that just really does it.
Yes, it does. Yeah, my voice is even clear.
I think
I know. I can hear that.
I know the medicinal effects.
Sarah's going to be all primed up then for the shoot that they're doing after the live stream.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna have to take a couple-hour break. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Otherwise, we'll be like, they're all great.
These ryes are amazing. We should become It's Rye Night.
We're gonna be It's Rye Night. We're gonna rebrand. It's gonna be phenomenal.
a couple comments here real quick. Rombout was telling us to go back to the Noah's Mill again now that it's had a little bit of air. I like the Noah's Mill to begin with.
I like this.
You didn't as much.
This Pikesville is like candy.
Completely different
This is
smell.
delicious. Yeah.
Oh.
Totally different nose than the Michters. You know what's funny is that the first bottle of Noah's Mill that we actually had here, I thought that bottle was like pure magic. It was like delicious peanut butter, like just such a good solid pour. And so I bought another bottle as soon as we ran out of it because I was obsessed with it. And I am so disappointed because it is not at all the same.
Really?
Yeah, it's like not even in the same ballpark. And we've left it for a couple of months and come back to it. And it just hasn't opened up. So I'm fingers crossed it's just an off bottle because I just really want that first bottle back. I'm kind of sad that it's gone. I wish we had saved it to try it against the newer bottles, but
I know,
in hindsight.
And that's the thing; it's a non-age stated. It used to be age stated, like 15 years.
Yeah, it was an old one. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's non-age stated. So who's to say between that first bottle and our current bottle, they didn't start putting a little bit younger in or whatever?
I don't know.
That's completely their right to do, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Corey Martin has asked, do you guys know if that Michter's 10, is it a once a year release or how often do they release it? Do you know?
I don't know that.
It only got released at our local, big box liquor store did a line once, and I haven't seen it. I mean, just once last year, and we didn't see it again. So I don't know if it is one time.
Like chances for us to buy it is like once a year for sure.
Yeah. Well, this was the first time I had seen it, and Auburn, our liquor store, got it in, and they were like, "Hey, we got a bottle if you want it." And I said, "Sure."
Yeah, bullet.
Well, and we had just had a sample of the Michter's 10 rye,
right,
which was pretty good as well.
Yeah, I've had the 10-year rye.
Yeah,
I've had that once before, and it was amazing. Oh my god,
it's not fair. I haven't had it.
Well, did I end up doing a blind on that? That was one of my blind pulls, wasn't it? In the quick hitter, I think I had the 10-year rye. Yeah. I pulled it blind, and it was delicious.
We had another super chat come in from the Scotch 4 Dummies, $5 as well from them. Thank you guys.
Beautiful 4 Dummies right there.
Nice.
Joe F. Awesome just comments that this is his 2 favorite channels together. So thank you, Joe F. Awesome.
Thanks.
Who do you like better?
Cheers.
Who do you like better?
It's got to be you guys. It's got to be you. We're ugly over here. Look at us.
Production quality.
We're so warm and tan.
But not between us.
Oh, I know. It's hard.
There you go.
Come on. Sorry, guys. Out of the 4 of us, sorry. I'm sorry. It's definitely.
Well, hey, you've got the best facial hair out of everybody on this show right now.
Me, thanks.
Oh,
Look at that. Look at that.
Man, that Pikesville is rich. It's been a while since I've gone back.
God, I love it. It is
Completely different
wonder.
nose.
I wish I could take this turtleneck off. It's kind of hot.
It's like I think it's fruitier smelling, right? It's much lighter smelling, even though it's a higher proof. This is 110 proof.
I think the spice comes through more, though, a lot more on this than it did on the Michter's 10.
Now this is I think this is the minimum rye mash bill for a rye. I think this is 51% rye, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's got a lot of the corn in there also. So that's what really makes it sweet.
It's just,
but man, it's good.
But I tend to lean towards Heaven Hill products
in
general.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
When we started this, if you had asked me what's your favorite distillery, I probably would have said like Buffalo Trace. And I love Buffalo Trace, and I've come to love others, but I never knew that I loved so many things from Heaven Hill.
I agree 100%.
I love Evan Williams Small Batch. I love Henry McKenna. I love
1783.
The 1783. I love the Pikesville rye.
You know, even the
Elijah Craig,
the 6-year Heaven Hill bottled in bond,
great,
is probably
the green. Oh, I was drinking
the green's the night, white's the bottle.
White one.
Well, I love
but
both of them, but I was just drinking the green last night. It's like $10 for a bottle.
Yep,
$9.20.
Yeah. Now see, that one we haven't had. But
we haven't had that one.
The white label is what, $11 or $12, and I tell people it's the best $12 bottle.
Yeah, we had a fan send it to us and say, "Here, you got to try this," and we were like, "Get out!"
Yeah, because that's Kentucky only, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, a fan grabbed it and said, "You guys got to try this."
That was
you won't
the beef.
believe it. The beef. Yeah, the
Beaver
beef
sent that
did
to
it.
us.
Wow.
We like to say he arranged for us to
He
get it.
arranged. Sorry, he arranged.
Oh, that's nice. Someone had asked, like, I'm coming to Kentucky. What, Kentucky only bottle should I get? And that's one that we suggested. I was like, I know that sounds crazy, but it's like $10 and you won't regret it.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with you 100%, sir.
The 80 proof is like not that great, but you step up to the 90 and the 100, and it's just a completely different ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I got to point out that Keith, the Malted Man Cave, he says that Bart is definitely the best looking.
He just likes scars
of the four of us because he's 6'6" with legs for days.
Wow. Wow. That's impressive. I believe now I'm blushing, Sarah.
Hey, you got to know when you're paid.
Right?
That's it.
Hey, and thanks to JC, he just did a $1 super chat.
Woo! Is that JC? Well, we'll just say JC.
Back to the Pikesville. Nice, I mean, for a rye with the rye, it's still a rich vanilla notes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on the front, and I love how it just sort of transforms in the middle to like a darker, spicier, and on the end, I feel like the finish just keeps going.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
I dig it.
Yeah.
Now I got to tell you, and this bottle has been open for a while too. Well, since before the
holding its own,
the shootout, and I haven't. It's not been sealed. It hasn't been gassed, and it's still
doesn't need to be.
Still delicious.
Yeah.
How long have you had your bottle?
I've had mine. This is my second bottle.
That's right.
Because after we had it at the New Orleans Bourbon Festival, that's the first time first place she had it.
And I fell in love.
And she fell in love with it. She went over there for the Evan Williams 1783, and she was like, "Oh, it's Pikesville. I've been wanting to try it." And then she tried it, and she was like, "Hold the phone."
Yep. Yep.
And then she came home and drank all of my Pikesville.
Smart. That is.
It's my second bottle, so maybe I had about 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genius. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Billy Wayne notes that Bart keeps pounding that stuff. He says this is going to get interesting.
Well, I'll be healed.
Yeah, he's just trying to get better.
That's right. It's just medicinal purposes at this point in time. But no, if anybody ever asks me, they say, "Hey, I'm going to try rye for the first time," I always tell them the Pikesville because it's so flavorful, but it doesn't feel overpowered. It's not like an overspiced rye.
Are you all familiar with the Rittenhouse rye?
Oh yeah, bottled and bond, love it.
We haven't. I don't think we have a bottle of that.
We don't have a bottle. I've had it before.
Yeah, I've had it, but I can't quite remember. I know I've had it a lot in cocktails, but I know it's like the baby brother to Pikesville. So
yep. Yeah, when someone says they want affordable, because this is about 90, isn't it?
No, 50.
50. See, but Rittenhouse like $35.
Or cheaper.
Yeah, or cheaper. It's good. Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful rye. I like the Dickel rye. The Dickel rye is solid too for 40 proof or for 40 ABV.
Toon Van Rouge is asking what bottled in bond means, and so that means the whiskey. It's a bourbon.
Yeah,
4 years old.
Right.
It's got to be in government controlled warehouses
or rye, but bourbon. 4 years old. True. It's government controlled warehouse where it's locked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was they did that back. When was it?
1893, I believe, is when the law kicked in for bottled and bond. Yeah.
Is that right, Chad?
If you hadn't said that.
1897.
Bottled and Bond Act of
97?
Yeah.
Okay, you might be right. Yeah.
Bart remembers very weird facts. You can say, like, what did you eat? What was that spice on your sandwich?
Paprika.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, and then it'll be like, who are we talking to? I don't know the lady's name. Sarah. Yeah.
But 1897 was bottled in bond.
Right. 1897 off a bit. You're right.
Which was, it was enacted to for the government to control, have some control over some whiskeys and say this is what they're advertising, what it says.
It put it in a bottle. It put the seal strap, the strap over it so that nobody could add in crap.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because people were getting sick from all the stuff that they were adding in to give it
the
color.
rectifiers.
Right.
Yep, the rectifiers, bastards.
People
That's
were
what
dying,
I call them.
so
I call them
regulating whiskey before they were regulating food.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
There's a couple other
yeah, so it has to be the product of one distillery from one distilling season. Too.
Yes.
They can't be blended stuff and all that.
Yeah. Interesting fact.
Tell us, Chad.
Yeah. No, another Heaven Hill product, Henry McKenna, is the oldest bottled in bond at 10 years.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And that, and I know Sarah, in the blind bourbon shootout that you guys did, you really, I mean, that moved up a ways on yours, and you really like it. And I recommend that as well to a lot of people.
Right.
I do. And it's sometimes I'm like, should I kick myself for doing that? Because will one day it be hard to find? But I love it. I mean, you can get a 10-year-old bottled in bond for, here, a single barrel for $30. And I just don't know a lot of other, I can't think of any other options.
No, you're right on. And I really love a lot of the old bottles and bonds will have their old style label that they haven't revamped since like the 60s or 70s. And I kind of love that retro feel to them.
I think that's so
awesome.
cool too. And I think the whole, whenever I go shopping sometimes and I'm looking at the shelves, I see a lot of these new craft bourbons and they've got these like really, sexy, pretty labels. And I'm like, oh, but the juice in there is like 12 months old and it costs $50. And sometimes I looked, towards the lower shelves and it's one of those and it's really ugly. And I'm like, well, that's what's inside that counts, right?
You're lucky if it's 12 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the craft. Yeah. Yeah. We had a fan that sent us some pics of what the mellow corn, which I haven't seen yet, but you've seen it. It's real cheap, just mellow corn whiskey, but it's got like a 1962 label that they've never changed. And I'm like, I want that.
Also Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Hey, a couple things real quick. Eric Waite points out that bottled and bond also has to be 100 proof. So, 50% ABV.
Yep, 100 proof.
And Dovaco, our first-time viewer from Denmark.
Yeah, that's a Danish name.
Super chatted 20 Denmark dollars.
Now 20 is worth like 50.
The Deutschmark, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know if that's Deutsch or if they're on the euro. I don't know, but it's whatever it is. It's Europe. We're going to triple its value.
Well, I'm going to do 10 pesos.
You can get a burro.
And Chad Claire III wants to know where you got your shirt.
Ooh.
Which one? Who?
Bourbon made me do it?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Bourbon made me do it?
I gave you that.
Yes, she gave it to me.
And it's from that place by the mall.
Wow.
It's from a store called Kentucky Branded.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, Claire the Third's awesome.
I don't know if they have a web
I don't know if they have a
presence or not,
website. Yeah.
but
Just Kentucky Branded.
that's where it came from.
You need to make it Bourbon Night made me do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, baby. That's the only reason I'm still on the show was every once in a while I get an idea.
Yeah, but we've seen actually at the Bourbon and Beyond Festival last year, I saw like 5 different variations of this shirt. So it's out there. It's out there as well. Just Google that and you'll find it and you can order it.
Probably.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well,
my glass is broken.
From the Michter's 10 to the Pikesville, both 2 very good quality. One bourbon, one rye. Well, one bourbon, one rye, one scotch.
One beer?
Yeah. Instead of a beer. Although you'll pull out good beers too.
I don't even know if we have any beers upstairs.
No, we have beers. We have beers.
Yeah. What did you pull out and surprise me when it was
just one of the Bourbon County stouts.
Oh God, that was good.
We just had that the other night. Little dark for us. We're not super big on ports, I guess.
I used to be really into dark beers, and like that would have been my favorite thing for stouts.
I said port.
I know. I was gonna let it go.
You're good.
Hey, bourbon works.
But yes. That would have been my favorite, but then I tried it again the other night, and I haven't had beer in a while, and I don't know, it just was so heavy. Like I felt really full.
Yes.
And that's what I like about bourbon is that I can keep drinking it. I don't feel full.
You're right. Yeah, it's heavy. It's thick.
Well, the thing is, even with and I pour a stout every once in a while, But the same as like if I pour a glass of whiskey, that might last me an hour, hour and a half. I've noticed if I pour a stout, I do the same with it. I mean, maybe even longer because there's more there. I'm not necessarily just slamming it.
And quite honestly, as that thick stout warms up a little bit, the flavors transition.
Yeah, I definitely like them room temperature.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we still have some in the fridge, so I'm gonna have to go back to it and let it be.
Well, it's good on that one. We were at some place where they said limit 2, and you're like, you've got to buy this.
Really?
Oh, my mom's here.
Mom,
you gonna come in? You want to taste some?
Hi, Mom.
Rye whiskey.
Yeah, look at that. Rye. Yeah. His mom was featured on a show at one point in time. Phenomenal show.
Come on in, Mom.
Oh, she's coming in.
Hold on, this is a cameo. People ask her, where is Scott's mom?
Yep, here.
Oh, they do, because we came on, we were talking about baking spices, and you were like, oh, I don't get baking spices.
She came and knocked on the door, so she wants to be on the
You got to come in.
Come on.
Just wander in.
I just wondered what I owed you for those rolls.
I'll let you.
I don't know. It's a live show, but you got to show in. People love you. You've got your own following.
Oh,
this is Chad and Sara. They're in Kentucky.
Hi.
hi.
And there's 153 people watching.
Yes, you got 153 people.
I have an audience.
Oh, good.
This is the Pikesville Rye.
Right. You try that.
Just a,
it's strong,
just
though.
This?
Yes, that is strong, though. That's all you probably need.
No, I added a little water.
Okay, you added some water. Usually you get a great reaction from Mama Scott. She's my favorite.
She's your favorite.
Right. You go ahead. Go ahead. She what show was it? It was like episode, number 6. She did a little cameo appearance and people love you. They ask about you on occasion.
Do I have to smell it?
Yeah, smell it. Do whatever you want. It is your dram.
Yeah, you got to waller it around in your mouth.
Strong.
It is strong. This one's strong. This one will get your attention. Hold on. We're going to. Woo. Come on.
Wow. Wow. Ooh, that's hot.
Yeah.
That's hot.
No, it's hot. I liked your hot description. That was perfect. You had a woo and a hot. It was like you were bucking Bronco. That's bucking Bronco Pikesville going there. That was good.
That's a Bronco.
There you go. There you go. Do you like my scarf?
Yeah.
Wife got it for me.
Over Christmas?
You bet. I've been a little ill, so both the Pikesville and the scarf are helping me out. Yeah, you can kind of
put my mask on.
Oh, yeah, I won't get you sick. I'll stay way over here.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to pour some more.
Nice meeting you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Always good to see you.
Bye, Mom.
Bye. Have a good day.
See, that's Scotch Test Dummies. You never know what you're going to get.
No, you never know who's going to show up.
Yeah, you got guest show popping in. You got everything. You're a big fan. All right, so before, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah.
All right, so as we move into the Scotch, guys, what Scotches have you had, even going way back when?
I'm just gonna go ahead and come clean on the record that I can't remember the name of any Scotch that I've had before.
Okay, so literally, for you, it was literally at the wedding, and it was a peated, but that was probably literally the last time. Well,
that was the last time. I've had a small handful before that, but I can't remember the name or what they were. I just remember that I was like, I like bourbon.
You're good. That's your wheelhouse.
I gotta apologize to everybody for my mom too. No. She's drunk.
Oh, that's terrible.
She's been at the casino.
That is terrible. I'm always defending your mom. That is not true. That is not true. She just loves her son. Actually, she likes your son.
That's a good sport.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'll guarantee you when she came in, she didn't know there was 150 people watching.
Right. She flowed right through. She didn't lock her up. I thought you were going to scare her for a second. I'm like, don't tell her that.
All right. Anyway. Back to the chat you were talking.
Right. No. Sarah, do you remember or not so much on your last Scotch?
I remember that I had probably just turned 21 and I was at the end of a very long drinking night and with Glenn Levitt or Glenfiddich or something like that. And I drank it out of a teacup with one ice cube. And I don't remember anything else about that.
Wow.
I remember that I finished it, so I must not have hated it.
She's whiskey in a teacup.
If it was
the
the
world's like tiny, it was like a little teacup, I guess, because there was no shot glasses or something. I don't know.
If it was Glenlivet or Glenfiddich, I mean, that's not too bad. They're both pretty citrusy, pretty fruity.
Yeah.
Oh,
one of that, a Glen something.
You can't go wrong with the Glen. It's like an open, grassy area in Gaelic.
Sounds pleasant.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I remember. And that was the last time I had it.
So. See, I was not a peat head to originally. Our very first tasting I set up like in 07 was an owner of a liquor store came in, and we got about 8, 9 guys together, and he brought in some bottles just like a wine tasting. And I remember the peatiest thing he had was a Lagavulin 16, which was way too much for me at the time. I mean, it was like ashtray. And now, you know, I'm going Octomore 8.3s and these high ppm phenolic, you know, peated scotches where, you know, people are describing creosote smoking ashtray, and I'm like, you know, oh yeah, and those will shock. I know those will shock a palate, but that's where, and we didn't know this in our journey as we moved through whiskeys in general. I went way peat head, which surprised me, and he's gone more toward, you know, a finer sherried and even cognac finishes and port finishes, and really picks up the subtleties and the little finer things.
Now, is a peat head anything like a parrot head?
Anything like a what?
A parrot head?
Parrot head.
Like,
What is a parrot head? I don't know.
Jimmy Buffett fans are called parrot
Oh,
head.
sorry. Yeah, I wasn't even. I don't know.
That one didn't quite land.
That one didn't land. They can't all land, guys.
I apologize. No, that's me. You just blame me on that one. I'm a dummy.
I love like sherry finished scotches and stuff. Like, what do you think about wine
We hit the 30-minute mark on your camera.
Yeah, it went into standby mode.
That's good, though.
It's being pointed out real quick that Glen means valley.
I like to call it a grassy valley.
So because you'll see Glenfiddich,
right?
Glenlivet,
It usually has a little creek
Glengoyne.
in it. It's got a creek in it.
I don't know.
Well, that's what makes a valley. Valleys are made by creeks.
Glencairn? I don't know.
Yeah. It does not mean mountaintop ridge.
Here.
Oh, is that mine?
To point out,
thank you.
the corks Highland Park started doing, it actually has the cork, but it also has like a half turn twist. It'll actually screw in and lock in for you as well.
What? Yeah. Hold on. That's like geekily really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, someone pointed it out to me because I was just putting the cork back in.
Yeah, just pull it. You turn and pull.
Oh, that's
Yeah, you can turn it. You can turn it and lock it.
Wow.
Nice.
That's the brand new bottle design at work.
Wow.
Right there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. They had a whole bottle like unveiling in early 2017 in Stockholm. Stockholm, yeah. They went the whole Viking thing.
They're frowning a little bit. Now I'll tell you, you'll get a little bit of a Scotch maltiness from the barley.
The malted barley, the grain.
Vanilla and citrus.
Uh-huh.
I'm just excited for this reaction. I don't know what to do.
So you guys said this is a non-age stated, right?
Right.
Okay. What else do we know about it? Like, do they give mash bills, or is this stored in previous bourbon barrels, or anything like
this
that?
is previous ex-sherry casks and refill casks.
Right. Refill meaning they've been refilled at least 3 times, I believe. Once they call them a refill.
Twice.
Is it twice?
But so now, if you don't know Scotch, a lot of the Scotch industry uses ex-bourbon. You know, bourbon can only use a cask one time.
Right.
And then the majority of their casks are sold to Scotland or you know, other world distilleries that want to use those casks.
Yeah.
So the more that cask is used, the less flavor that really, you know, is departed from the wood.
Tannin wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bourbon, it being that first use that's in there, pulls so much flavor, you know, out of that wood in a shorter period of time.
And I know they've been doing like a lot of beers aged in like ex-bourbon barrels and like Tabasco, different hot sauces and things. Like what else? Bitters. Yeah.
Tequila. Rum.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I guess since there's a bourbon boom and there's more bourbon, I guess there won't be a shortage of barrels for people who want to age things in bourbon barrels.
No. So. But what's interesting is now bourbon's doing the opposite, and they're aging bourbon and use rum barrels, used wine barrels, used
a lot of finishes.
Since you like he said, he likes peaty scotches and you like more like sherry. Do you also like wine finished bourbons?
My favorite has been the Joseph Magnus.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, we don't have that one. So
Yeah.
Don't have
we've been debating, not sure.
Yeah, it's been the price tag that's just turned us off on it.
And what I've seen with a lot of bourbons is that the bourbon influence is so strong on the whiskey. It overpowers much of the wine cask influencing when they try to do that. The Joseph Magnus, now it's been in 3 different casks, though. It's been in like cognac and Oloroso sherry and Pedro Jimenez, maybe.
It's got a real refinement to it.
It really brings in more of the wine cask influence than any other of the other bourbons that I've had.
Okay,
cool.
Well, that helps explain the price if it's been in 3 different casks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they do the cigar malt too, which we've had, and it's delicious as well.
Yeah. Well, they've got Nancy.
And I think it's Armagnac. It's been in Armagnac casks.
Yeah, our favorite wine finish so far, I think we can both agree, has been the Pritchard Hill from Jefferson's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because that's been in
a Cabernet finish.
Cabernet
it's not
finish,
sherry or anything.
And we're both not port fans, so like Angel's Envy doesn't hit home for us being a port, and a lot of the sherry like Bellmead and other ones that do sherry finishes.
I like their cognac finish, but I'm not a big fan of their sherry finish. So.
Right, yeah, but that Jefferson's Pritchard Hill with the Cabernet, it's been one of our favorites so far. Thusly.
Yeah. I love when they start playing and experimenting a little bit.
Did you guys cleanse your palates at all? Did you take a drink of water? I noticed that Pikesville rye was pretty strong.
Pikesville strong.
We should have crackers. Whoops.
See, when you talk about the Joseph Magnus, you're talking about Nancy Fraley is their expert that's come in.
Yes. Master distiller.
Yeah, master distiller. Phenomenal. Leading female master distiller.
Now, I'll tell you, though, so with this, you guys like the bourbons. They're full of flavor. You like the barrel strength, the cask strength stuff. It's high ABV. This is 40%.
Okay.
This is just a nice single malt whiskey with no wine influencing. There's no heavy peat to it. So it's really kind of just an introduction to the world of Scotch.
I mean, if I was to guess, I think this would come in way too tame for your guys' palate.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're onto something there because there's not a whole lot of 80 proof bourbons that we're still like clamoring to pour. We're normally 90 or above. I think 100 is kind of my sweet spot. And of course, we love the barrel proof stuff. The Elijah Craig.
We call that the bottle of wow.
Yeah, exactly. 1792 full proof is delicious at 125 proof. So we've really been hanging up there in that full proof range. But I mean, I don't know, like what proof does Scotch tend to get up into?
Oh, you can get up into 60.
Same deal.
Yeah.
When they start doing cask strength kind of stuff, you're talking the same range as a barrel proof. It's really the same thing.
Well, shall we?
Yeah, I feel like we've been putting it off.
Yeah, do it. We've been sipping on it.
Now, keep in mind, I mean, we had a budget, or we're limited fairly by the budget.
We just said, what's the best value Scotch? Like, because we will basically, as first-time drinkers, as bourbon first-time drinkers, neither one of us would have gone out and bought a $100 bottle of bourbon.
Right.
So we kind of wanted to treat this the same way of, something kind of under $30 that's value that we could just go pick up.
Yeah. Plus, we had ryes to buy for our rye flight, so we're like, let's try to keep this.
That's a good problem to have there buying rye.
It smells really light and sweet.
Yeah, and it is.
Grains too.
Yeah.
There is a very slight sherry note to it. A lot of vanillas, sugar, citrus.
So I'm surprised you didn't send them for the Mac 12.
I would have if their budget would have.
Got it.
That's $50. That would have been my recommendation.
All right, because when you mentioned it, I thought, why? I'm surprised you didn't send them to the Macallan 12.
Well, you did mention that, right?
Did you mention Macallan 12?
Might have, but I know it's 50. You're going to spend $55.
Oh, then it wasn't that. It was the other 12, the Glenlivet.
Oh, Glenfiddich 12,
which was just a few bucks more, but we were like, I'd save those few bucks and get this one.
Sure.
I don't know. All right.
All right.
Cheers. Here we go.
Oh, now.
Okay.
Hold on, let him go.
Well, I would say that's your first sip. You still got a little bit of rye probably on the palate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But go second, go third sip. I mean,
I just,
I'm trying to put my finger on it.
I'm very expressive, so I just like to
do it. Let it express. Emote.
It is very light.
It's not an extension of the taste. Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and feel free to emote.
Emote. I must emote. Don't tell me to keep it in.
Release.
You're tearing me apart. No, just kidding. All right, here we go.
I really like this for a sub $30 or $30, maybe sub $30 where you guys came into this. There's, believe me, there's higher dollar scotches that probably aren't as palatable as this, depending. But when looking at what we had and where we were at, hey, and I knew it's 40%. Where you at, Sarah? What do you think? What are you getting?
Well, it's light, which is nice. After what we've had previously, there is this and I don't know how the wording and what I say is going to sound awful, and I don't mean it this way. I just don't know how else to describe it. Almost like when you smell gasoline, it's like that fumey smell, but almost in a taste on the front of your tongue, like when you first sip it, that's drying. But it's not that. I don't know what that word is for that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like
no,
or like paint fumes or something. It's not chemicals, but I can't describe it.
No, it's a little bit. I think you get a touch
on the front of your tongue.
A touch of the ethanol, maybe.
I think that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. It's warming. It's I don't know. Let me keep sipping it.
Oddly warming for 80 proof.
Yeah.
It makes me think of barbecue, and I think that's just because of the smokiness of it. I think it's kind of
smoky. That's what I'm thinking of.
And this is from a Scotch noob, but the more developed palate of you-alls might not pick up the smokiness. But for me, in a bourbon palate, I get very smoky, not oaky, but smoky, like you've been hanging around a barbecue. Not that you've been eating barbecue, but you've been over that grill and you've been cooking ribs and you've gotten that smoke in your lungs. And that's kind of what's happening. I just keep picturing barbecue for some reason. And it's affecting my eyes. I don't know. I got picturing cooking and here's all the smoke and it's gone.
Now this is a very, very light peat. I would say this is probably 2, 3, 4 ppm as they would rate the peat parts per million.
I've wrecked my peat palate so bad that I almost don't. Yeah, I almost don't call it peated.
We've had stuff that's 230 parts per million, and they're making now 300 plus parts per million.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Brooklotti Octomores. Right. There is a very, very light peat, and Highland Park does use it. If you're picking it up that much, you're really sensitive to the peat.
Yeah, I can get it just a little bit.
It is very light. It's very light and airy, easy to drink. No burn at all. But it just has that almost like I've smoked a cigar.
Yeah, it does. It has a really thick smokiness.
And I might smoke a cigar 1 to 2 times a year. So keep that and my lack of scotch in perspective, please. But
it does. It's like ashy or something. Yeah. But the more I drink it, the less that becomes abrasive when I sip it. And every time I go back to nose it, I get more from the nose after each time I sip it. I can get a little bit more, or something.
Like I say, keep in mind, I mean, we did scotches first for quite a while, and I didn't really care for bourbons because they were too strong, too sweet,
too oaky sometimes.
Too oaky.
Yeah.
And it took really a while for my palate to adjust. There's 2 different palates, two different profiles that you come to expect. And it's the same if I drink an Irish whiskey, there's kind of a profile that you expect or what is coming.
That triple distillation.
Even a Canadian whiskey kind of has just a different profile, and you kind of, what am I drinking? What profile am I expecting?
The way they blend in Canada is different.
Yeah, but then so what I'm expecting, does that whiskey then, does it go up or down the grade scale basically based on that, the region of whatever you're drinking? So you guys are used to bourbons. You're used to that wood, that virgin oak, charred barrel impact and the full proof stuff.
Yeah, I think this is throwing my tongue for a loop. My tongue's like, what are you doing?
This isn't the normal stuff. What are you doing?
You're getting some great flavor notes out of there, though. I literally think the way I've gone so heavily peated that I can't pick out some of those peat notes that you're getting. And that's actually very educational for me, the way you were describing it. Because when I try this, I get a Scotch that is very light, too light for me almost. I mean, it's got its moments here or there, but like when I think peated, the peated stuff I do now blows people's socks off.
Oh yeah,
right.
And that's where I've transitioned. Yeah, but that's interesting. The way you described it was very, very interesting to me. I think there's a lot of value in that.
Cool.
Well, and the malted man cave, he points out that you guys would really be hating the Lagavulin or an Octomore, something along those lines because of the peat level that's in that.
That's why I mentioned the very first tasting we were at, I had a Lagavulin 16 was there, which I absolutely adore now. And at the time, I had my first sip, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is that? Cough syrup and medicine and like tobacco spit? What the heck?" And now I love it.
What?
It's going to my head. It's really going to my head.
It is, yeah. And I don't know if it's because it's on top of the other two, but I'm kind of like, woo.
Yeah, it's going to my head. Yeah.
Well, that's got to be the other two.
Yeah, the Pikesville's a beast.
But I don't know though, because we do this a lot.
It's different from like a quantity perspective. It's like going to my head as in
so like if you ever drink champagne and it kind of makes you feel like more of a body buzz or something, yeah, it kind of feels like a different type of
it's a different
buzz almost.
For sure. I mean, I swear that I smell like smoke right now.
It does. It feels like it feels like I've been smoking.
Yeah, I swear to you, it smells like I feel like I smell like I've been smoking.
I love doing this kind of stuff though, and I would keep doing this even though like I don't think at this point I would never say like, oh, I'm really craving a Scotch. But I would love to keep doing this because I think this is so funny to just try new things and shock my tongue and see what we can pick up. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And you guys can laugh at us.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you,
it's wonderful.
I mean, we can kind of be your guide or kind of say, hey, try this next or do this, or maybe we can even arrange for you to get some samples.
Oh, we do another show. Do another show with a few different walkthrough.
Whiskey in the Six does point out though that people new to peat pick it up a lot easier than people that have had peat or are used to Scotch.
And yeah, anytime it's been present in like anything I drink, I'm like, there it is. I can taste it. Get out of here.
Yeah. And you know what this reminds me of, and I swear to you, I'm not saying this to be mean or anything, but it reminds me of the really young bourbon that we've tried. It like the grassy green type of taste. Like people have sent us like new distilleries that are opening up and like, here, would you please try our bourbon? And it's like 6 months old and we try it and it reminds me of that. Now, that's not to talk down upon it at all. It's just
I think it's smoother than that.
Yes, it's definitely smoother, but it's
the grassiness and the flavor is that
reminiscent, of that like young profile.
Well, this as an NAS is probably much younger than what we're used to Scotch wise.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. With Scotch, a 10-year-old peated whiskey is pretty young.
Right, but peated
really with Scotch, anything 10 or under is really kind of considered young with a Scotch.
Right.
You know, it was crazy because when we were at the store looking for this, we were like, there is an 18-year-old Scotch just sitting on the shelves. It's $100. It's sitting there. There's a row full of it. And we were like, that would never happen today with bourbon. That just wouldn't happen.
Not in Kentucky.
It would not happen in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that just blew my mind. Like how different those worlds are, I guess, a little bit. So
there's some exceptions. Like sitting on the shelf is Wild Turkey Decades. That's a blend of behind the counter of a 10 and a 20, mostly 13. I want to say 13-year-old juice, but it's $144. And it's weird, and we talked about this before, like the Knob Creek, which we have right here, the 25th anniversary, it kind of sat around, which we love, and there's just like, I think brands kind of have this thing behind them, like, well, Wild Turkey, that's a $20 bourbon. Jim Beam, who makes Knob Creek, that's a $20 to $30, $50 bourbon. When you're charging $120 or $144 for like the Master's Keep, what are they doing? Let's just not do that. But if
Four Roses puts
Four
something
Roses out, or Buffalo Trace, who does Pappy Van Winkle now and all this, it's like just grab them up. Michter's 10, Michter's 20.
Right.
Strange.
So it's very strange how like there's this perceived notion of brands versus quality versus price. But
a couple other suggestions that came in. Phil Artonio's watching, and he said to try Monkey Shoulder or Great King Street are great for bourbon beginners switching over.
Monkey Shoulder's real good.
Real similar profile though as well.
Like the last sip of this, I got still smoky, but less. It felt the most cohesive sip that I've had so far, where it just felt like a good, solid sip.
Yeah, less of a shock to the system, for sure.
I mean, I think we're just like not calibrated. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're completely calibrated bourbon.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a juicy fruit on.
I'm really glad we did this.
Good.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Octava Vitae also recommends Deanston Virgin Oak, and I saw that yesterday at the store after we had talked, and I thought so too. That's also $30 to $35 somewhere in there. That's a very good
Aqua Vitae is out of Glasgow, Scotland.
They actually got to meet him. He was on. I was talking to him just before they came in, before we went, before you got here.
Wow.
I told him, like, in my dream world, I would love to just take a trip to Scotland and just tour all the different, distilleries and whatever, and video our awkward, like reactions to everything that we try. But it would be fun, and I heard it's really beautiful there. So
and maybe by the end of it, oh, we get it now.
Yeah. Gain an appreciation.
Wow. Well, you guys drink some more. I mean, not today, but as you go on, drink some more of your bottle and kind of keep us updated. Let us know where you're at, and we'll see if we can get you some other stuff to sample or try, and maybe broaden that horizon a little bit.
Octomore? Octomore is a crazy peat. I'm just joking.
If we do peat, it'll be labeled heavy peat.
What are some of the comments coming in, Scott? What are some of the comments?
I don't know. There has been a lot.
It's rolling. I just noticed the left part of your screen there is just like, it's like going, I mean, it's just going crazy. You got 154 people in live.
Wow.
Yeah.
In our reaction.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think it's the t-shirt. The t-shirt your guy brought them in. Or the scarf.
Yeah,
the scarf.
Definitely,
the scarf. And the legs for days.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, legs for days is good. That's true. Thank you.
That should be like your nickname, like in the middle of your name.
I love it.
Bart
legs for days, Bunchine, baby. Woo! I like it. Bring it on.
That's awesome.
We do have a safe word. Sometimes I talk too much and he'll yell out Velvet Elvis, and that means I need to shut up.
We asked our fans for a safe word because Bart sometimes goes on tangents and I have to shut him up.
Right. Sometimes I'll be telling a story.
What's
I think we equally go on tangents. Would you say I go on tangents more than you?
No, I would say I go on tangents more.
Really? Tangents are good.
Yeah.
So
The stories get in depth.
What's in store for 2018 from It's Bourbon Night?
Yeah, tell us about you.
Okay. And this is gonna be another exclusive. We're gonna drop this here.
Okay.
We're gonna drop this.
I don't know what it is, but let's do it.
We're going to try to go live. Like you guys do, once a week. But to do that, we need proper equipment. Some of this has been lent to us for this cast. So we're going to set up a Patreon page. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to create a Bourbon Night inner circle to where people can give more input about the episodes, you know, the flight fights that we should do, what we should uncork next, what topics they would like to see, levels all the way up to where they can hang out with us on Skype or Google Hangouts and be drinking buddies with us and so forth. So our first level that we're trying to achieve is to get equipment to go live, which will double our output in videos, because right now we're doing one video a week, which typically comes out on Fridays. And we would do a live video that would be earlier in the week before that. So that's the 2018 goal right there. Patreon page is not up yet. It'll be up very shortly. And we're going to put that out there. And hopefully, because, you know, people have been asking us, like, do you guys have a Patreon page? Is that something you're going to do? Da, 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 da. And I think that's just like a reaction of people wanting to be more involved, which we are completely behind. I know you guys have a Patreon page.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what our 2018 goal is, to put out more content, double our content, basically, for everybody out there, and to crowdsource more information, again, like I said, about what we should be doing and what's really important to the people who are watching our channel.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think Patreon is, I say, our bread and butter. I mean, we make so much more from our Patreon supporters than from people. Think you come into YouTube and start doing videos and you make money, and that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
But no, our Patreon supporters definitely help us out. And yeah, and I know you guys aren't monetized. I would encourage that as well with YouTube, just like the super chats today, and people being able to donate money, you know, on the live streams is a big help.
Totally. I mean, that would help us buy more bottles. Just like, you know, just yesterday, we were going to the store to buy bottles to do a flight fight, you know, so that would just go towards helping us do more episodes like that. So absolutely. Yeah,
totally. And then the interaction in the fan base, we call our Patreon supporters Super Scotch Gods. Matter of fact, Rombout just came on, and you know, it's just the messages that come across. We'll do an occasional exclusive show just for the Patreon that's live, where we'll hang out and we just kind of chat and stuff. But it's just, I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's just a fun thing. But our whole deal is about connecting. So it's just allowed us to do more of that.
Yeah.
So we're pouring a little bit of this Knob Creek 25th.
Knob Creek, there you go. You want to end the palate.
He wants to end on a bourbon palate.
Yeah, you're bourbonizing.
Sorry, I got to bourbonize it.
You're all right. You're all right. Scott's going to pull out his Knob Creek now too, so we can match you.
What do you guys think about that?
Oh, we love it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we got a not backlash. We don't get backlash.
I would not call anything that we get backlash.
No, but we got a lot of comments.
Some stiffness
from our uncorking of the Knob Creek 25th, saying I would never pay that for, what is it, 100?
It's 120,
130 for a Knob Creek, when you can get a store pick that tastes amazing, which, you know, yeah, totally fair. But we will say that this is the only time you can get a barrel proof Knob Creek. You know, all the others, if it's a pick, it's still cut down to 120. This one's 122.5, which isn't that much more, but still,
it's as it was intended.
And it's picked from Fred No,
right?
Stiller Jim Beam, so it's a cut above.
And it comes in a cool box.
It comes in a box, guys.
You can't beat that. Yeah, it's good enough that Scott's breaking out his Northern glass.
Well, you guys pulled out your Northern,
we ran out of
Glencairn. So.
Sorry.
I pulled that. Yeah, I got a Copita that I like, and
the
Bart used the Northern.
I just don't like that the Northern doesn't clink properly.
There's a fear in mine.
It does on there, but yeah, generally. Now, I'll tell you what I've seen, and I'm sure you guys have seen as well. Like with this one, no matter what you review, if you like it and you say it's worth it, somebody's going to come in and they're going to say, "Well, I can buy X for whatever."
Right.
And
yeah, you can. I'm just telling you, I like this, and I like this one too. I was really surprised.
You were.
Yeah.
And palates are. We always acknowledge that my palate is my palate. The only thing we get out of it is some people. Sorry, some people lean towards Scott's palate. Some people lean towards mine, and that's where they get some value. It's like a Siskel and Ebert thing.
Yeah, totally. And I just had a party foul.
Yeah,
that's all right. You can actually rub your hands together and get some real interesting noses off of it.
Me.
Yes. Ooh.
We'll get a paper towel in a second.
Hey, well, go ahead.
That was like Karate Kid slap. Yeah, he can heal now.
While you clean up, I got a couple of shout outs we'll do real quick.
All right,
Tyrone Cody points out that this time slot works pretty good. He likes it a lot better.
My wife doesn't like it, but it's good.
Yeah. Kevin Hester liked the idea both channels coming together here and bringing viewers from both.
Yeah.
Tom R advises be careful with Bart's Scotch advice because he thinks Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is a beginner's bourbon.
No. What I said, it was in my top 5 for beginners because I said they've got to taste the good stuff. They've got to have something that blows your socks off at the end of their 5 picks. Right.
Yeah, that's like the completion of their initiation.
Yes. And a lot of our fans came out and said, wow, without somebody walking them through, you're going to have them go buy a barrel proof Elijah Craig, and they're going to go, oh my God. And I can see that too.
Well, that's what water's for. But that's interesting because we talked about it too. Like we want to do an episode, the best bourbons for beginners, but we're so removed from that category that, we've had some of our friends on Instagram reach out through their social media to crowdsource, and we're going to ask that question too, because we
don't know anymore.
We're so far removed from like what's a beginner drink when we like the high proof stuff. It's like I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that was part of my angle was that I thought if they finished with something that we call the bottle of wow, and that because I've run into whether it's bourbon or Scotch drinkers that the first time they had something, it was a bottom shelf where they were just throwing shot after shot, and they didn't really appreciate the flavors that come along with a brown spirit.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, the bottle of wow is really, really strong.
Yeah.
The Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is strong.
Yeah. But it lets you know where it can go. I don't know. Sure. I think if the first experience is good, then you're on the right track.
Yeah. Right. I think, maybe something slightly lower proof, like a 1920 at 115 proof.
We lost
our camera again.
That's all right. I'm hating the Norland glass.
Not loving it?
Bart's he's getting drunk.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I over tipped, and the way it meets your mouth, I spilled some, and it was a secondary party foul.
On our end, but
is that not?
Yeah, this was a secondary party foul. I've gotten used to my Riedel cognac glass, which meets my lip
like a kiss,
like a fine kiss.
Now that's a great descriptor.
Like a fine.
Not sure how you come up with that for a glass,
it does. It does though. This meets my lip like when you slap me upside the head.
It'll make you slap mama.
We have to give some well wishes here. Amy is a big supporter. She's not feeling good. She's ill. So her husband George is in here watching. So big support out to Amy. Amy and George, both big supporters.
Send us a care package with some unique chips from Michigan.
Hope Amy gets to feeling better.
Love
that. Robert Morris, what? Oh, Robert Morris is asking, what is the rarest bottle y'all have?
Y'all
or us?
You all first. You guys go first.
Ewins.
I was gonna have to be probably you. You probably have more rare.
That's
definitely than me.
That's a good question.
I mean,
see, the thing is, I don't have like a lot of really old bottles. Not old as in time spent in the barrel, but like bottles from the 80s or 90s or so on and so forth. I just started collecting like the limited stuff about 3 years ago. So that's kind of a toss up. I'm trying to think of like what my most limited bottle is. I think it's just around.
You got a couple Bookers around though, I've seen, right?
Yeah, I do have a Booker's from 2014, which is my oldest Booker's, and I've got to try a lot of good stuff through our Lexington Bourbon Society, like the Four Roses 125th. We got to try the 2006 version of Thomas H. Handy.
The very first
bottling of Thomas H. Handy,
which was fantastic.
So that's great. Wow. And that's stuff we've gotten to try. But as far as like what I own, it's just the Four Roses LEs, the Al Youngs, the the older Bookers.
Yeah. Buffalo Trace Antique Collection.
Buffalo Trace Antique Collection.
Got a couple of bottles of. Van Winkle.
I do have a 2015 Van Winkle Family Estate Rye.
I'd say that's probably the most coveted, but I don't know.
I guess the stuff that I hold dearest are things that I like that they stopped making, like Old Crow Reserve.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is just
and it's so sad they don't make it anymore.
Like a 4-year version of Old Crow, but I think it tastes ultimately better, and they don't make it anymore. So I have like 3 bottles of that. That's what I coveted because you can't get it.
That's good.
Or like Jim Beam Choice, which was a 5-year charcoal filtered beam that they stopped making. That I liked. That I have, 6 bottles put back up.
Is that all?
It might be 9 bottles. I can't.
Yeah, that you admit to. You've got a couple hidden.
Yeah.
So.
I do have one of my rare stuff. I do have a bottle of the Booker's Rye that we got, early, right when it came out.
Yeah.
We got, and I really loved it. I really liked it. It was really good.
Wasn't that the $300 bottle?
Despite the $300.
That was a little over the top.
Well, you didn't buy it, so yeah.
Well, I didn't buy it, but I wouldn't buy it for $300 when I can get a Rittenhouse or
right here. I can get so and so for $300.
Right, that was my problem with that.
On my side, Compass Box Circus. I had a bottle of the Compass Box General. Those are scotches.
Yeah, well, they're blended scotches that are just phenomenal.
Really,
very limited.
I've heard of that company before.
Yeah, John Glazier does a wonderful job. He's always pushing the limits. He does some real out there kind of box/bottle art. He really is. It's a cool trend going on with him.
Nice.
I was thinking I have this Willett Family Estate single barrel. It's a 12-year-old, 123.8 proof, and it's only 123 bottles of this particular one.
Wow.
This is probably 2 years old when I got it. So a 12-year, Willett Family Estate. I think only sold in the gift shop. That's probably one of the rarest, just by the bottle and the numbering and so forth. But I've yet to find the special occasion to open it. So we'll see.
I can see the color.
Yeah,
the color looks great.
What would be the special occasion?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Like being on the Dummies show.
We hadn't had so much before this. Absolutely.
Good point. Good point. That's your exit strategy there.
We're coming up on the 1.5 hour mark, which is really
pushing
the limits.
Yeah, we'll keep it at an hour unless the show's zinging. So we're zinging.
How are you? How are you guys feeling?
Another 5 minutes.
Yeah. You guys want to keep going for a little bit, or start to wrap it up?
To wrap.
We're probably in the home stretch. We're feeling good.
There's any more things you want us to answer, like comments wise?
Yeah, bring in some comments because they've got to do their own show here in a little bit.
Right.
But we have to take a rest before.
Yes. We'll bring across some comments here. I know it paused for a second. So what happened? Did it slow down, or we got some questions? What happened?
Octava Vitae is asking what you guys would think of your guys, given the prices of good bourbon. What's still flying under the radar?
Like in general, what do we think publicly is flying under the radar? I still have to say the Henry McKenna single barrel 10-year.
There's a new one called David Nicholson Reserve.
Really?
Yeah, it's around $30 and it's 100 proof. There's a David Nicholson 1843, I think, some date out there that's okay. But this David Nicholson Reserve, if you like a nice nutty bourbon, which I love, it's nice and nutty, and it's a good proof, and $30. I think that's flying under the radar for sure.
I'm always gonna throw out Evan Williams 1783 because it's like $17 here, and it's a small batch. I don't know a lot of other small batches you can get for under $20, but
I think we need to pick that one. Is here. I've seen it, and I think some other people have recommended it, so we need to pick that one up and try it.
Yeah,
it won my best under 25.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, but I've found that I tend to lean more towards Heaven Hill flavor profiles. So
sure, me too.
But I don't know a lot of people that have picked it up and been like, I'm so disappointed that I bought this, because even if you don't love it, you only spent like $17 or $18 on it. So it's really not that bad.
That's beautiful.
And Bauhauser is watching. He agrees with Sarah on the Henry McKenna 10. And I'd throw that one in there as well. Yeah. Now, let me ask you guys, Chad, best bourbon you've ever had?
That is such a loaded question. I don't know. I
can tell you mine like that.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, you see, the thing with me, and that we've kind of, like, if you'd asked me this, you know, if I'd had all the bourbon that I've had thusly, but not done the show, I probably would have rattled off an answer. But what I've become programmed to think about is trying things blind and next to each other, because I'll say XYZ, or, you know, X is that was phenomenal. That one time I had it, blew my mind. But you come back a week later, a month later, a year later, whatever, you have a blind, you have it next to XYZ, it might not be the same. And we found that through our testing. So I don't know, but things I can say that I loved at the time that I've only had once.
Sure.
Was the Four Roses 125th anniversary.
That was good.
That was phenomenal. Wow. What else? The W.L. Weller, or William LaRue Weller from the BTAC, Buffalo Trace Antique.
Yeah, when we had
collection.
That was amazing.
One of my favorites. Yeah, but you know, it's so subjective, because I think it depends on what you had for lunch that day, how much sleep you got.
When was the last time you brushed your teeth?
When's the last time you brushed your teeth? Like, there's so many things that it can always change. And that's what we've realized in the almost 2 years of doing the show, is that it can change.
Yeah. And
what you have as your favorite is your favorite until it's not.
Right. Like, I thought the Wathen's Barrel Proof that they just released this year for the first time, I was like, this, I think, is my new favorite. Like, I love this. This is definitely it. And then we put it in our blind best of 2017. And I think for me, it came in something like third. It was third. And I would have sworn it was my favorite. But then when we did it blind, it didn't. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've learned a lot from blind tasting. Yeah. But what's your favorite?
I mean, I can say the 20 or just the George Stagg, the BTAC editions. Yeah. The 15 was the first one I got. I've got 4 ounces left. I've coveted every ounce of it.
Yeah.
I love it. I've had the 16 and the
17.
Can I
have that last bottle that you've got? No, I want the full one.
Nope.
Yeah,
yeah, unequivocally. I mean, I'll tell you. I mean, best bourbon boom. I took this year's to one of my work's Christmas parties.
The 20,
it got hit hard.
That surprised me that you took that.
But I took it to. I mean,
you're a generous person.
He is. He is.
But I mean, it's one of my favorite. And a lot of people there really, really.
Side story: he got a real limited bottle, and in Kansas, you can sample stuff in the store. He popped his bottle open and let the crew sample it. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, yeah. He goes, you don't do that. I'm like, hell no, I don't do that. He goes, that's why they don't like you as much as me.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
And they don't. Yeah, because I'll be like, bam, got it. Here's the money. Bye. And then Scott's hanging out with him. It's like a party. And they're like, we love Scott. Bart's a dick.
I really loved, we got a bottle of French Blanton's Maison du Whiskey, which we did an uncorking on. It's right back there. But it was from 2016. Our friends from Australia brought it over. They come visit Kentucky every year. We didn't include it in our best of 2017 because it wasn't from 2017. But that's one of my favorite things I've ever had. But it was a pick, so we'll never have it again. And it wasn't from this year, so we couldn't put it in that flight. So it's tough to kind of call that, but I'd say that's up there, one of my favorites. But again, we always do this, do we recommend it? Hell yeah, I recommend it, but good luck finding it.
Yeah, that looks delicious.
Now, how about this Knob Creek 25th though? Is it still on the shelves in your area?
Was it there Liquor Barn the other day?
It wasn't there, but
it's been on the shelves up until recently. I don't know if they got wiped out at Christmas.
I bet if you went to half a dozen stores, you could probably find it in one. I would guess.
A couple of months ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, it would have been behind this cabinet, but still
there.
There.
Yeah.
At least 1 or 2 bottles. So.
Yeah. Now I was just gonna say about this. I don't think you've had it, but the straight from the barrel.
I haven't.
Blanton's. I would actually put
That-
one that I had put above this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, then I need to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a samples of that one, and that one was delicious as well.
It was.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, hey, we're at the hour and a half mark,
Let's
so I
wrap
think
it.
let's wrap it up. Why don't you guys
Tell us
Yeah.
everything about you, where to find you.
YouTube
Like
channel,
Lama.
Twitter handle, Instagram, all that stuff. Put it out there.
We're pretty much at It's Bourbon Night on everything.
Mhm.
That's mainly Instagram and Twitter. We also have a Facebook page,
We do.
which is just It's Bourbon Night. And then our place for our videos is youtube.com/It's Bourbon Night. And we recently just got a Amazon influencer page, which has a lot of products like the Norland, the glasses that we use in our flight
For flights.
fights, lots of different other stuff that we use and recommend is amazon.com/shop/It's Bourbon Night
Mhm.
that you can find that stuff at.
Very cool.
Same on Instagram and Twitter. I think it's all your tags are
Yep.
It's Bourbon Night.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks to everybody that tuned in. We appreciate it. Great turnout, great comments, great
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, we're still sitting 149. That's
Wow. Thanks, you guys. Good job.
Boom.
I'm just shocked.
Yeah, that's
Nice
awesome.
job.
right. That is good.
All right, Bart, what are we gonna do?
That's right. We're gonna scotch it. Sorry, you Scotch gods.
Cilantro.
Dummies. All right. See you guys later.